Thank you. City Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Councilman White.
Here.
Blackwell.
Here.
Robertson.
Here.
AJ Walker.
Here.
Eldridge.
Here.
Harris.
Here.
DeVar's Holder.
Here. Thank you. This time that brings us to item number 4 on the agenda, which is consideration of the minutes of the regular scheduled city council meeting. It was held on December 8th, 2025. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes as written. Second. Motion was made by Councilman DeVar's Walker, seconded by Councilman Harris. Is there a need for discussion? All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, like sign. This time, I'll ask if there are any considerations for additions or deletions to the agenda. I have been notified that we'd like to make an addition to nominate at the end of the meeting. We'll call it item 13, consideration of appointments, in this case, to appoint Amy Jackson to the Central City Revitalization Panel. Is there any other additions and or deletions to the agenda that we need to consider tonight? I will need a motion to add item 13 for the appointment for the Central City Revitalization Panel. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion made by Councilman Robertson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman DeVar's Walker. Is there a need for discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. All opposed, like sign. All right, that brings us to item number 6. This time, I will turn the meeting over to our city manager, Elton Daniels, for a city update.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Don't have many items tonight. Just wanted to, number one, let everyone know that loose leaf collection has now resumed now that the roads are clear and ice is starting to melt. And then lastly, I'd just like to, again, give a special thanks to our staff, those staff members that worked during the inclement weather that we recently had. We have a few pictures up on the board for some of the people that were working during that time in our public works and parks and recreation staff. The reason why we were successful is because not only did we plan for this event, but we also had people working during and after. So I want to extend a sincere thank you to the City Public Works, Parks and Recreation staff for your exceptional efforts following the recent winter storm. Clearing the roads, parking lots, sidewalks, and public spaces is a challenging job, especially during this type of weather. Your hard work did not go unnoticed. Your dedication helped ensure the safety of our residents and visitors and allow daily activities to resume as quickly as possible. The long hours and behind-the-scenes work you put in, truly appreciate it. And the reason why I want to do this is because there were some folks that I guess they didn't know that we were out working during the storm. But as you can see, our folks were out full force, including the police and fire, and actually all divisions has a part in it. So thank you all for your hard work. It's not going up. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments for our city manager? Hearing none, I'm going to take a moment of executive privilege. I'd like to read a proclamation. So whereas each February National Black History Month serves as both a celebration and a reminder that Black history is American history. And our history is what shapes us as a city, our faults, our struggles, our progress, and our aspirations. And whereas much of the city of Rocky Mount's honor, strength, and stature can be attributed to the diversity of cultures and traditions that are celebrated by the residents of this great city. And shining light on Black history is important in honoring the many achievements and contributions made by African Americans to our economic, cultural, spiritual, and political development. And whereas we must acknowledge and pay tribute to the generations of African Americans who struggle with adversity, risk their lives for justice, fought a fight that at times seemed impossible to win, and that will continue to fight to ensure equality for all. Whereas Black History Month is a time for us all to remember the stories and teachings of those who helped build our city, took a stance against prejudice, advanced the cause of civil rights, and strengthened families and communities, as well as recognize who continue this important work today. Now, therefore, I, as mayor, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Rocky Mount, do hereby recognize the month of February 2026 as Black History Month in the city of Rocky Mount. And I encourage all citizens to reflect on past successes and challenges of African Americans and look forward to the future to continue to improve society so that we all live up to the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. In witness hereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Rocky Mount, North Carolina, to be affixed this 9th day of February in the year 2026. Thank you. At this time, we will receive petitions from the public. This is an opportunity for public comment, and we thank you for coming to the City Council meeting tonight to share your views, and we value all citizen input. Speaker comments are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes during the public comment period. At the conclusion of the 3 minutes, each speaker shall leave the podium. Comments must be directed to the full board, not to an individual board member or staff member. Although the board is interested in your comments, speakers should not expect any comments, action, or deliberation from the board on any issue raised during the public comment period. In the board's discretion, it may refer issues to the appropriate city officials or staff for further investigation. If an organized group is present to speak on a common issue, please designate one person to present the group's comments, which shall be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. This time, I'd like to invite Earl Jones to the podium. Mr. Earl Jones, okay, sorry.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Earl Jones, Ward 6. First and foremost, I am a child of God, proud Navy veteran, and a retired DOT accounting manager. I enjoy working part-time tracing product for a local farming operation, and I return to this podium tonight for a third time seeking honest and correct answers, sound strategies to resolve existing issues, and credits for overbilling the services on my utility account. I hope to shine a little light and not only straighten out my account, but also help all our citizens to do the same. My original message to you and my request of you remain the same. And so allow me to repeat myself. I ask you to reconsider 3 reasonable requests, which I feel we all deserve. Number 1, place Rocky Mount back on a 12-month calendar, just like the rest of the world. Do it now to shelter our citizens from your billing disasters. Number 2, and I feel strongly about this one, the way you treat us, your customers, is downright shameful and unacceptable. The in-your-face arrogance, lack of respect, flimsy excuses, failure to follow up on your own action items, failure to address customer concerns in bogus, scripted updates. You read, but honestly you don't fully understand yourself. All these things and more, I would rate as poor performance on your part. After running our city into the ground, you have the audacity to systematically transfer financial burden to 26,000 unwilling and unsuspecting utility customers to pay for your mistakes. That's a pretty low-down, dirty way to treat your customers in my book. Number 3, you need to make us all whole with our money. You need to process credits for the services you've overbilled us all for. You certainly wasted no time in overbilling us, so get jiggy with it and correct our accounts pronto. In closing, you have awakened a sleeping child. So suck it up and deal with it. Clean up your mess. Kindly leave the light on for us because we will be back. We will be heard.
Thank you, sir.
And we will never give up.
Thank you, sir.
So say
I would like to invite Mary B. Berry to the podium.
My. Good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, evening. This is the DCN SMOKE coming to you live to talk about the Rocky Mount City Council meeting on last night and also the town of Conetoe town commissioners meeting that was held recently. Well, it was two. One I attended, the last one I didn't. But stay tuned. I'm going to play some of the Rocky Mount City Council meeting from last night and respond to it. At this time, I think his name was Earl Jones, been addressing the council about the utilities for the last several meetings. And it seems like every time he comes, he's angrier and angrier. However, I just don't understand how I've been reading on concerned citizens. People been sending it to me because they got me blocked because they know I will respond to and other people have been posting stuff, and I get some, I don't, because like I said, I've been blocked. But anyway, I'm just trying to figure out that people said they wanted an audit. Oh, and I read in the newspaper too, because they did an article about the audit to present soon. I'm just trying to figure out why people still talking instead of waiting till the audit is presented. It said it will be done any day now. Someone asked the question of why the audit hadn't been presented. Well, the city council has responded to the state auditor, and so now they're waiting on the state auditor to come and do the presentation. For you, some of you who may remember, many of you probably don't, just a few that's in my circle that know, probably remember when the state auditor Beth Woods came down and did the audit, and the Rocky Mount City Council released it before she did, and she questioned it. So I assume now they are waiting for the state auditor to come and do the presentation. But anyway, wait on the audit and see what the audit brings out. Then go back into your mode. But for right now, I think you need to wait on the audit, see what the audit says about the utilities and whatever else concerns you, the financial issues. So I'm gonna continue to play. The next speaker is coming up doing public comments.
I'm back. I have two things that I want to comment on. The first is I didn't appreciate the fact that rather than getting an apology or somebody having used racist terms toward me, I got a lecture from all of you guys about the proper way to speak at a meeting. I didn't appreciate that.
I do want to stop right there, because this is the Karen, right? This is the Karen that, one of the Karens that Andre Knight called out at a meeting. I think it was 2 meetings ago. The meeting that was the committee of the whole meeting for the city staff and the city manager to do a presentation to them about what was going on with the financial, with the utilities. And it was stated time and time again that the public could not speak at that meeting. But this Karen right here was hollering out and along with some other folk. And then when Andre Knight called her out and then called her Karen because of the way she would respond to him, now she's the victim. And she done been back to 2 meetings, still crying. Well, damn, woman, Karen, if you had not did what you did, the councilman would not have had to respond to you. He was trying to bring order back. He did it on several occasions. And then when you start running your mouth and they put you out, now you want to play victim. You're saying that you have not received apology. Who in the hell need to apologize to you coming with your privilege? Well, thinking you had privilege, but you found out. Yeah, you effed around and found out that you could be put out. like I said last night, well, you hear what I had to say doing public comments. But I get sick and tired of being sick and tired of folk. Everybody's grown. And you don't just think you can disrespect grown folk and they not say nothing. I don't care what kind of damn title you got. But see, it's that climate we're in with 4734. And some folks think they can just say and do whatever the hell they want to black folk. Well, them days are over for some of us. Let's continue on.
I think if you were actually gentlemen, at least one of you would have stood up and said, hey, that wasn't called for, and an apology is owed. But the other issue is those dang power bills. And I'm getting a little frustrated with the fact that you keep telling us, call in, go down to the office, and bring your bills with you, and they'll figure it out. We didn't make these mistakes. The city did. We should not have to give up a day of work to go sit with 75 people in the lobby to get our bills fixed. You got a computer over there. You can punch in and ask that computer, who got more than 12 bills this year? And it could give you all their names and all their information. And then you guys could sit down and look over each one individually and fix them. But you're expecting us, your constituents, the ones who voted you in and can vote you out, you are expecting us to do the work to fix the mistake that you guys allowed to happen. We should not have to.
I want to stop right there. I just want to know what kind of work the citizens got to do to correct the problem. Somebody please help me understand in the chat.
Our leisure time or our work time to go and clean up a mess that we didn't cause. I would really appreciate it if you just get on your little computers and figure this out, because it's gone past ridiculous now. And I don't think I'm the only one in this room that feels this way. Or that we be back today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Regina Townsend to the podium.
I don't come to poke the bear. I don't come to, I feel a bit of humility for we've been through for the past 60 days. But the young lady that was over collections across the street, I feel that she was thrown to the wolves. No, hyenas. Because when wolves leap from the hyenas don't do anything. I feel that she was thrown to the hyenas, us, to figure it out. We haven't figured it out yet. And when you have a coworker, you have to have the humility for that person. I really don't know what to say. I'm a woman, and I feel that she was thrown. Go do it. Yeah, go for it. Build it there, come. You know, I feel that she was thrown out there. I really do. And I wouldn't have anybody that asked her, how do you feel about the situation?
Charge your phone.
Do you feel that we have put you in a predicament where you feel like your coworkers have left you? You be there in the setting, be there and being there. Some of you guys are brothers in sorority, and I just feel like I believe that you left your sister out there. You really did. I have anything else to say.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Reginald Bynum to the podium.
I really didn't quite get that, but I did get that since some of the brothers are in sororities, they are in fraternities. Sororities are the women. But being thrown out, I mean, it was stated in the committee of the whole meeting that was for the staff to and the city manager to do a presentation to the council. It was stated what happened. The person found an error, and it was during the Christmas time, and she made contact, and the city manager told her, asked her could she handle it, and she tried to do what she did. However, when she got into it, she found out was more than what she thought. So the process went on, and I guess still going on. So at what point in time do you give these folk, when it was stated that it's only, I think, 3 people working now in the utility department now. So at what point in time do you give them a chance to get where they're going? And I think I addressed that last night during my public comments, so I'll be coming up soon.
Hello, how you doing today? Good. My name is Reginald Bynum. I am a new resident to Rocky Mount. We moved here last September. My grandfather, not in the matter, was Reverend Nelson Johnson, who passed the First Baptist Battleboro for many, many years. I'm the oldest grandson. It's a pleasure to be here today. I've become a little different. Obviously coming from where I am, but I do have some concerns. My background is that I'm actually in the energy space. So I'm part of an energy developer. I've been around for some while before then. I think we met before. I work for energy education. So around energy education for rural communities. But now I work for a developer. And we will develop large energy projects across the country, not just in North Carolina. A couple of questions that I have, and I'll get into my final kind of concern, is out of concerns I work with, again, different energy companies across the world, country, and itemized billing seems to be something that isn't something that's discussed a lot. And I would tell you that I'm someone that understands energy very well, like the rates, usage, it doesn't add up. It just doesn't. And that's coming from a professional background. This isn't conjecture. This isn't how I feel. This is me sitting out looking at the bills that I've received since I've been here last month. And again, I look at that. I try to work around, make sure my bill is low, making sure I have insulation in certain areas and those things, and it doesn't make sense. I think it's a low-hanging fruit item, and talking to other organizations and companies across the state and the country seems to be a pretty easy fix. And I would like to make a sincere, genuine request that we look at that. That is something, again, when I look at the rates and the usage, it is not adding up. And there are some fees up there that are not explained on the bill, as I'm sure some people probably realize that. The next thing I would say is that personally, I've done a water test, and it seems our water quality is pretty bad, almost really against health standards. I bought a little Amazon test and did it, and I've done it everywhere I've lived. I know we have a background in that now on this, but I would like to request that, because I did a test. I've seen these tests. I did a test with the water from the snow and the rain. That seems to be better quality water than we're getting from our faucets. And again, these are tests we can buy ourselves. Again, this isn't conjecture. This is based on actual scientific data. And again, I would like to actually have that looked at, particularly for our families and my young family. And with that, again, you guys have a very hard job. I definitely respect your roles, but as a citizen, as a person, a new resident who is planning his life here, I would like those things to be looked at, and I will follow with you on individual. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite
That was a very interesting comments there. But what came to mind for me is, like I state all the time, I have been going to those city council meetings longer than any council member that's on the council today, dating back to the late 80s. Now, I have been in meetings, committee of the whole meetings, when water was a discussion about the water treatment, the ratings that they received. Now, I don't know if they aligned or not, but you know what? All the presentation I've seen, the water quality was good, top of the line. So I don't know. This guy said he's a professional, and that's fine. I'm just a professional idiot. I'm just ignorant. But I do know what I've heard during the presentations, especially in the committee of the whole meetings where presentations are done. That's the meetings that people need to go to so they can learn stuff about the operation of the city, because the regular monthly meeting at 7 o'clock and 4 o'clock, those are just procedures. But when you want to find out about what's going on, just like the presentation about OIC that you'll see later on coming up, where the discussion was about, I remember that conversation, the presentation that was done to the council. And some of them had amnesia last night, or just ignorant to the facts, in denial, or don't give a damn. But I'm so glad that I go to the meetings, and when things come up, it comes back to my recollection. I forget some things, but many things I don't.
Mr. Petway. People on TikTok. I'll recognize you, Mr. Page.
I just want to make one comment about our water quality and the testing that our water undergoes. Our water, Richard, if you come to the podium just for 1 second, but just to talk about the frequency that our water is tested, and then you have a seat.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. The city of Rocky Mount is blessed with a very reliable water source, our river. And what we have done over the years is make sure that we process our water with all federal and state regulations. The labs that are used are certified laboratories, and we have to submit reports periodically to the state. And to this day, we have not had any issues, pertaining to our water quality that would have been noted. And we do have our water quality report that we issue to the public periodically, and everything is in line with all federal and state requirements.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, could you reach out to Mr. Bynum and just get a copy of his test and see if we can figure out what's going on there? Mr. Petway, I invite you back. I'm sorry for that.
Like I say, good afternoon to the council member, to everybody. As you see, I came with something to say, a list of things to say. But after hearing what you said about Black History Month, it kind of gets on my nerve when people always talking about 1 month of Black history, when we have 12 months out of a year that we talk about white history. And when you try to take Black history out of school, so Black kids can learn about their heroes that they know about. But yet we still talking about Black History Month. And I love Black History Month. I'm a black man myself, and I read history. And I know this, and I know the history of this in council. When we went back in 2008 or 9, when we were talking about the electricity, how unfair it was. But we didn't stop there. We talking about going all the way back to 1930, 40, when there was no black on the city council at all. They were making decisions for black people without even being in their area, without knowing their condition. We talk about history. Let's talk about the history of how we got to this point. The point that we got here is when we kept coming up here and telling you about this man that ex-city manager that was up there wasn't even paying attention to the people that were speaking. He wasn't even paying attention when we spoke. And we come up here month after month and day after day trying to tell you about what's going on with the city. We get no response. We get, okay, this is it. But our history goes way back before him. It goes way back. When I think 80% or 60% of this city were black. But yet and still we had no representation on the board. So we talking about that. My other thing is that we talk about injustice. Injustice is to the people who are receiving these bills coming in January. My sister-in-law just got 2 bills in January. 2 bills. And we're only 1 month. How can that be? We talk about all these other different things that are going on with people that, and older people that can't even afford 1 month bill. Making $400 and $500 on Social Security. That's history. We talk about a lot of things, but we don't talk about what we're going to actually do. What are we going to do about the citizens that can't pay their bills? What are we going to do about those that come up here every day talking about things that are going on in the community? Houses that need to be torn down. Streets that need to be paved. Now, he talks about all this.
No response that way. I'd like to invite Tasha Aldridge to the podium.
Good evening. I want to speak tonight about something fundamental to good government, and that's oversight, accountability, and respect for the people who keep running this city. City management exists to steward public trust, and that means knowing our own financials and policies inside and out. Not guessing, not reacting, and not shifting blame when items don't add up. Oversight isn't approval, isn't optional, it's a job. When leadership cannot clearly explain ongoing issues, or when information changes depending on who is asked, it erodes confidence and puts every decision made at risk. But the impact just isn't on spreadsheets. It's on the people. Citizens are feeling tax and utility crunches. City employees have now seen raises removed and longevity pay taken away. When you combine those losses and others, many workers are facing a huge decrease in their salary. As an example, my husband just got his W-2, a 9.2% decrease in his salary. That was taken from the city. That's not a small adjustment. That's nearly a 10% pay cut during a time when cost of living continues to rise, a time when employees are devalued, but city management keeps getting higher and higher pay. For the employees who repair our utilities, maintain our streets, answer emergency calls, and more, they serve the residents. This isn't fiscal management, it's punishment. With that said, I spoke with the U.S. Department of Labor again last week on longevity, and they encourage complaints to be filed. Personally, we've been trying to get the opinion letter, but unfortunately the department is laid off again. I'm still waiting on that. Now, yet another possible oversight, again with numbers and documents. That sits on tonight's agenda item in number 12. In particular, the Loan Subordination Agreement, page 2. Item B, under recitals. It references a $1.2 billion loan. Yes, 1.2 billion. Actually, it might be a typo, but again, it's an oversight that was presented to the public and to city. That is a legal document that could have had major repercussions. Leadership should be able to show us clearly, transparency, and honesty of how we got here. Balancing a budget on the backs of frontline workers and citizens is not sustainable. It hurts morale, it increases turnover, and ultimately costs the city more in training, vacancies, and the loss of experience. Strong stewardship means protecting both the city's finances, integrity, and workforce, and we demand accurate reporting, responsible planning, and leadership that values employees and citizens as an asset and not a line item to cut.
Thank you. I will check on that. The intention is not $1.2 billion. I'm confident of that. I have Danielle Taylor. It looks like you're here to speak on a public hearing matter. And when that item is called, I'll call you to the podium. This time, I'd like to invite Shona Hampton. Thank you for the phonetic spell.
I'll make it work. Hello, my name is Shona Hampton. I live on Beale Street in either 2nd or 4th Ward. I haven't figured it out yet. I moved to Rocky Mount in April of this past year based on affordability relative to the Triangle Park's potential, proximity to my adult kids, and of course to be closer to the Outer Banks. At first I was pleasantly surprised with Rocky Mount. Who gets to wake up, walk out of your house, walk along a river and grab Banger coffee at the mill? And the dog park is the biggest one I visited in the state. In short order, I learned of the financial shenanigans involving the city, and I of course did not expect a rise in the energy bills. This is disappointing. Regardless, I now call Rocky Mount my new hometown. With this declaration comes a certain responsibility with regards to the future prosperity, health, and wellness of the region. Forgive me as I give you a bit of my background. I believe it's relevant for perhaps you and the citizens of Rocky Mount as it relates to my comments and questions for considerations regarding data centers slated to come to our community. I began my career in the Gulf of Mexico as a mixed tank science diver for NOAA Fisheries, studying the impact of commercial fishing populations by the oil and gas industry. I am a trained scientist. After earning a master's degree in environmental biology, I went on to become an international educator, teaching advanced environmental life sciences for over 2 decades. My teaching career began at an Atlas school and ended over 2 decades later brushing elbows with the billionaire class at a fancy overseas school in Shanghai, China, including 3 years of the pandemic. I taught the billionaire classes teenagers high-level science. Eastern North Carolina is slated for data centers that benefits primarily the oligarchy. Among political junkies today, they're often referred to as the oligarchy, the billionaire class. To quote George Carlin, it's a big club and you ain't in it. They not like us, to quote Kendrick Lamar, except we'll be like him. These centers will have a high energy and water demand and produce significant carbon emissions impacting climate and weather patterns in this region and the world down the line. This is a problem you may have heard of from nerdy scientists and others as far back as I can remember, at least the early 90s, when I first learned of what is now referred to as the problem of global climate change among scientists. Many of us believe we are in the find-out phase of humans effing around with the global climate patterns in a new epoch called the Anthropocene. This isn't a good thing. These centers are very large, destroy habitat, and employ few, 34 as I recall. We use a large amount of water and energy from fossil fuel sources and produce significant amounts of e-waste and heat. What impact will the impact be on our estuaries that serve as nursery grounds for commercial and game important fish and wildlife? With the increase in demand on water and energy, how does this council imagine this might affect future energy bills for the residents of Rocky Mount? Could water bills also be impacted due to the high water demand? I believe this is a case of NIMBY.
Thank you, Ms. Hampton. Thank you. This time I'd like to invite Butch Dancy to the podium.
Really don't want to go ahead and say nothing, but I represent some folk. I live in Rocky Mount and working here for 39 years as of January the 27th, like member of the Rocky Mount NAACP, member of the H-Home County Democratic Party, and been me longer than any one of you all these years. For videoing back before the pandemic, for videoing y'all meetings for free. So I deserve to be able to stand up here because I've been doing it out of pocket. And here, I'm glad to see people coming now. But where were you when we was crying out to folk? It was a counselor and some others when we found out about vacant cities back after the flood. About them getting bonds and previous mayor, all of them were getting paid. And one council member fought that electric cities actually get out of work, go to the beaches with some of y'all won't even there. Where one of you there. But I just want to say, in the climate we're living in, with all that's going on from the top, with all the foolishness where people think they can talk to people any kind of way, y'all good. Because I'm a grown man, everybody grown. If you talk to me out of character, I'm going to talk to you out of character. When I was working in the store part-time, didn't have to. They said the customer was always right. Now they weren't always right with me because I'm a grown man. But we need to learn how to talk to folks. And we also need to let the process work itself. The only thing I see, if you could give a timeline on when you expect to somewhat have things in place. I read a newspaper, I talk to folks, just talked to someone today, a family member talking about the light bill, they say $100, some all these, $200, some all these, some all. I said, I live on the county line. I just paid a $769 bill, light bill. I live in Edgecombe Martin. So I just listen to some of the things some folks say, because I know about utilities and stuff. So, but you just can't, you got to stop acting on emotions. If you're going to act on emotions, you got to act on emotions on the facts. I was a legal reviewer for NAACP. When people go stuff to me, I tell them you got to see if they follow their policies and procedures. And so until you be able to show that they have not followed their policies and procedures, you just got to wait it out. And that's all you do, like when you go to court. So, you can't get caught up in emotions unless you present the facts. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see what the auditor got to say. I seen it in the paper. I seen it on the mail page where the auditor said he's going to come back and do a report. So that's what I'm waiting on for the people that I represent. So you say you want the auditor to come. Then the auditor came. Then you got to give a report. You still talking stuff. I see all the people sending stuff online from Concerned Citizen, all these pages. What got me blocked because I can't sit back without saying nothing. I would not be solving issues that matter to people. I'm not in the situation, but that's what I do. That's why I got involved years ago to represent people that want to
Thank you, Mr. Dancy. Thank you. I'd like to invite Darlene Spencer Harris to the podium.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you, Joe, this evening. We're talking a little bit about Black history. Yes, it's recognized this month in February. However, every day is Black history for me because there's always a lesson to be learned. You're always going to get something new. Somebody's going to be doing something different. I had the privilege of being at your show, Roots to Runway, this past Saturday. My dad and I, and my dad's 87. The youngest model was 3, and it was held at Word Tabernacle Church here in Rocky Mount. And it was a family-oriented event, and there's a lot of events going on for Black history this month here in Rocky Mount. So I'm not going to be before you long, but I did want to just touch bases on the light bill. None of us was happy about it, but at the end of the day, I didn't get caught up in the rhetoric. I waited and got a few of my bills together. Then I made the phone call. And I went over the dialogue with Ms. Hall, step by step, date by date, for how the delay of the processing was done. Completely understood where it came from. Hopefully it will not happen again in the future. I wasn't happy about paying a $919 light bill or a $567 one. Again, we say, as citizens, where are we supposed to get this money from? Yes, City of Rocky Mount's fault that this happened. It's too bad it wasn't caught earlier. So it could have been rectified and it wouldn't have gotten to this point. But nonetheless, we're here. And if you have your bills, I just suggest that you just get them all together, look at the dates for the services that was rendered to the date, the expected due date. And if you're taking line them two together, you will pretty much understand what happened. No, I'm not pleased with it, and I don't think I disagree with it because I don't, but I know for a fact I saw it in black and white for myself. And with that, I'm done. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Ms. Napoli Reed to the podium.
I enjoyed Darlene Spencer's comments because recently she had came to the meetings and was talking on a different tune. And I like what she said. She went down, talked to them, and as she stated, it was not the people's fault. It was not all the councilmen's fault. Because some spoke up, like I said, and I did too. But the people, you know, you gotta get involved. You gotta be proactive. That's why you go to the meetings when ain't nothing going on, so you can be there to see what's going on, see the presentation, seeing what other folks see. And like I said, we was asking the city manager to bring back the report, and he kept saying he gonna bring back the full report. When Councilman Andre Knight was questioning him, I was questioning him. Hey, it is what it is. But I really appreciate Darlene Spencer's comments. Like she said, look at your bills, talk to them. It is what it is. This too will pass. But you can't come down all emotional, not based on the facts, and act like everybody ain't grown. You know, you can get emotional, you can talk loud, I talk loud. But you gotta talk loud about the facts. So we'll continue on.
Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, and others on the podium. My name is Napolyn O'Reed, and I live in the Meadowbrook community. I am here because I have not received a refund on my utility bill for charges, double charges for refuse, wastewater, and stormwater and water. In December, I was charged twice on more than one bill. And to me, that's kind of excessive. And as a customer, I would really appreciate a refund for 1 month of the refuse, wastewater, stormwater, and water bill. I can see gas meter readings, but on one of my bills that have little bars measuring the water, and there's no bar with any water usage, and there's a charge. Well, for December, I was charged twice. So if you would look at that, and I got a phone call 7:30 Friday night from a Rocky Mount worker asking me to schedule an appointment for someone to come and I guess update my system's energy saving features. Well, please don't call me after 5. Okay, that was kind of inconsiderate for me. I'm already traumatized by snow, and I didn't need for them to call me and ask me anything after 5 o'clock, and I didn't get my refund. Plus, I have those features on my utilities at my house, and believe me, if the city's not regulating it, I'm regulating them, turn it off. during the peak hours to save energy within my household. And I have 2 other properties that don't even have the energy saving features, and I've not been called to get energy saving features for those properties. So there's some inconsistencies going on, and they really need to be looked at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Natalie O'Ree quite well. Kind of a little confused. I really wonder how much money we are talking about as far as the refund. But on top of that, it normally takes a little time to get refunds refunded. So I'm just trying to figure out. I think she said December. This is the 1st of February. Don't know when she questioned it. I would think it would have been in January. But however, again, when do you allow the process to work? And then after a certain amount of time, the process don't work. Then, but I'm just saying, to get the refund. But the most important thing I caught was they called her after 5 p.m. Now, said don't call her after 5 p.m. Well, sometimes people get caught up in the day. And if the shift is over at 5 and they take the time out to call you after 5, I think that's damn good. Matter of fact, I called EMC the other day because I had met with them to have some utility poles put up on the property. And because of the weather, I called to see where they still gonna come out to meet with me to see where we want to put them because of the snow. The person did not the person that answered the phone sent me to the right department, and I left a message. And I have no idea they were going to call me back on the same day, but they happened to call me back around 5:30. Might be close to 6 o'clock. I could look up the time, but I know it was after 5 o'clock. And I thought that was awesome. I mean, they didn't have to. They could have waited till the next day. But I'm just saying, come on now. Don't call you after 5 o'clock. You didn't have to pick up the phone. Then leave a message then. I'm quite sure you got voicemail. But it's just the little things that we say and do. Come on now.
Ronnie Wilford, it looks like you're here to speak about rezoning. Is that correct, Mr. Wilford?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'll call you when the public hearing is Ms. Maury Menges, I'd like to invite you to the podium.
Okay, I'm going to be nice. When are we ever going to get the results from the audit? I thought that was supposed to be December. They must have a lot of information they have to go look through. And has anybody in the council been asked or approached to kind of help somebody figure out where all those $1 million went? Or is that the audit people going to find out? Since y'all lost it on y'all's time of leadership, well, y'all can figure that out. But anyhow, also, isn't there an ordinance in Rocky Mount that you have to keep your yard halfway straight around? And I used to have this number of this guy's, I guess it's a woman wouldn't let their yard look that chunky, but around the 300 block of, I think it's Western Avenue, this house is on a corner, and Fred Sanford wouldn't even let his yard in his show look that bad. It's got junk, crap. I don't know what the man's saying on this. It's not worth anything. I got a lot of stuff, but at least some of mine's worth something. I mean, it's worse than Ebony and I hate. You know how I hated that place.
And one other thing, I don't know that anybody really can tell me something, but the last time I was up here, there was a note in the paper or something about an assistant manager. Are we supposed to have two? But one of them is getting $175,000 a year. Do you know rural teachers only get like $58,000 if they're lucky a year? They work 5 days a week, 8 hours plus a day, and they get. The balance isn't right on that. Somebody, I don't understand that. But anyhow, what does assistant manager do? Are they that good? They're that smart? If they need to get paid all that money? Beats me. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Robert Wardell to the podium.
Wow. I look forward to Minji's coming to the meeting because she cannot get ebony and ivory out of her mouth. She didn't know who owned it when she was breaking it up at one time, and found out that somebody else owned it, and they got it cleaned up. But what took me was when she brought up about Fred Sanford show. That's my boy, Fred Sanford. Oh, she brought up my boy, Fred Sanford. I was like, no, she didn't. But what was the other thing? I had to step away right quick. Oh, the audit. Yeah, I had just got through talking about that. And it was something else. I can't remember what that was. I think, But anyway, you heard it. But I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to stop it after the public comments and go into the Conetoe saga down there. Let me see. I think it's about to the end of the public comments. Or maybe the end, but let me see.
Good evening. Mayor Robertson, City Council, and resident platform guests. I'm coming to you to talk to you about more about the assignment.
Mayor, can we stop this time just for a second?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Mr. Square, I don't want you to get any legal action or anything as a candidate. I'm not sure you can do it as a candidate, but I'll yield to our attorney now so he can help you before you find yourself in any type of trouble or legal action.
It shouldn't be because I'm talking about how my sign's been pulled up, okay? And I don't see no legal action to that. In other words, my signs have been, when I worked, when I ran for the school board 3 times, and I ran for the city council 1 time, okay? There was about 18 signs that pulled up by my yard, not my yard, but my district. And these signs are costing anywhere between $18 to $24, depending on where you got them from. Okay? Now, in my run for council, my run for the county commissioner, I went to Warren Rapids, and I got 40 great big signs, and those signs were about $250 a piece. Okay, and this weekend, somebody I had to sign right here in front of the OIC building. Somebody, and I was told by a reliable source, that someone from City Hall got the sign up. It was not obstructing anybody. It's not obstructing anybody, but it was a thing that it shouldn't be done. And if anybody from the City Hall got my sign, that one great big sign up, I would ask you to replace the sign or reimburse me for the sign. The only thing you have to do is to lay the sign on the ground, or all y'all have got my phone number, could call me. I could have come and got the sign up. But it just is that I have no one to finance my campaign but myself. And it's tremendously hard for me to stay competitive. We have people taking signs down that don't need to be. So if anybody from City Hall got the signs up and he left the poles up, what's so bad about it? He just take the pole with you. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know what I mean? But I just think that you all know anybody got the sign.
Thank you, Mr. Cordell. And just as a general advice to anybody, if a political sign is on city property, it will be removed. And your complaint is probably better registered with the Board of Elections. But thank you for coming. Thank you. You care to be recognized, Mr. Buckwell?
I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
Mayor. I apologize for speaking. My question was, if the city takes the signs up, are they held somewhere and they get the signs back? Yes, that is my understanding. If a political sign is placed on city property, then we do collect those because they're, according to city policy, they're not allowed on city property. And then the candidate is more than welcome to pick them up once we collect those. And I would reach out to our code enforcement department if they still have those signs. Can we just give a number or something? Can we just put that out there? Yes, I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but Joseph Bocook is our development service department, and you would contact his department. And we could get Mr. I forgot your name, Mr. Cornell. Before you leave, if you would just leave your information with Mr. Joseph, and then we could, if it is in fact true that the city staff removed the sign from city property, then we'll make sure that we get you that sign back.
The Department of Transportation will also remove signs if it's in the right of way. And you can find those in the respective county where the DOT would be located. All right, moving on to item number 9, which is the consent agenda. At this time, I would like...
All right, I think I'm going to stop there for the Rocky Mount City Council meeting and go back to it on tomorrow, probably. Right now, I want to go to the Conetoe Town Commission meeting over the past around 3 years ago, up until now. Around 3 years ago, myself, Deborah Jordan, Shelley Willingham, we all was attending the Conetoe Town Hall meetings. They were getting them back together. They was not functioning. I was there videoing them, and then I missed some because basketball season started, and their meeting was on game night on Tuesday. But anyway, I went to several, and I seen start out with a white mayor and some other commissioners. They started, and then a young black guy, Butch. Forgot what Butch's last name. He was on the council and commissioners, and he was the mayor pro tem. But anyway, the mayor at that time stopped coming to the meetings. Another one a white person stopped coming to the meetings. Butch ended up becoming the mayor. Then he ended up resigning, and Delane was Bryant was the main person who was trying to put all this stuff together. Deborah Jordan was down there working, helping, trying to get the books right or whatever. And it kept going. Deborah left. Then they had to bring in another whole crew. Every time I go down there, it's different folk. It's just crazy in Conetoe, where the population is around 200 folk, and around 89%, I believe it is, and we're talking about not in the total of Conetoe, around 200 folk, and the majority of the folk are black. I think around almost 89%, I think it is, I read. But anyway, you can Google it for yourself, town of Conetoe population. But I've gone to several meetings periodically over the last year or so, and it's been right interesting. Some folk were complaining about doing something with a piece of their property right there next to the town hall. But I do want to say that the town hall has been rebuilt. It's nice, very nice. There's something that did come out of it. But as far as the town being ran, it's just been a lot of questionable stuff going on. At this time, I believe Delane Bryant may be the mayor and the clerk or something. She holds two titles. I can't remember what the other one is, but I do know she's the mayor. But just recently, I attended a meeting, and I couldn't make it to the last one, a call meeting. But the one I went to, they didn't have a quorum. Representative Shelley Willingham was there. When the one before that, Joe Durham came, and I don't think they had a quorum for that one. But anyway, when Shelley came, Shelley Willingham was at the last one I was at, and I don't think they had I know they didn't have a quorum then, I don't think. But anyway, this last one I looked at, that was videoed, I was not there. And I just thought it was quite interesting because they didn't have a quorum, but they was doing motions. And then maybe I am incorrect on this one, but I seen a client that worked for the town that I think does the cleanup, sit across in the audience, across from the council commissioners, and they had a conversation about their work, and also talked about a council, a commissioner, Jenny Hennett, who was not present. But I would thought that this should have been done in closed session as an attorney-client issue. Whatever the issue is supposed to be, and I saw it. I wanted to share it, but I didn't share it. I wanted to do just like I did with the Rocky Mount City Council right then. But I do know that the person that shared it had it just for friends, not for public, so I didn't want to share it, and everybody couldn't see it. We're here. And so I chose not to do it that route because the post was not public. But again, I'm just trying to figure out how you have meetings and don't have a quorum, but make motions. And I think the mayor swore in somebody because they needed somebody to sign checks and all that. I think the issue was that they were saying that Commissioner Jenny Hennett would not sign checks for that cleanup person to get paid. And I'm trying to figure out, again, why was that done in open session? And also, how did they take action, and how did the mayor, because it was only one other council person there, council commissioner, that was Breonna Baker, and the other lady, Paramore or something like that. They were the only 3 people there. And I'm trying to figure out how was there a quorum. And when do the mayor get the vote? But the attorney was there, the same attorney for the Edgecombe County commissioners, and I'm just for the county. I'm a town of Tarboro, a county, Edgecombe County. I know he for the county commissioner, but I just don't understand what took place. And I had been there, I would have questioned it, because I just don't understand how that person sat out in the audience and they had a conversation about their work when they were hired through the Conetoe Town Council. Folk are telling me, since I posted my post that I was coming on at 3 o'clock, people that don't even live in Conetoe has responded to me saying that Delane is doing just what she wants to do down there. I've heard some rumors about some things that I dare not to say publicly, but I get calls, I've gotten messages that somebody be hanging down there a lot, and they was wondering, what was going on with them and all that kind of stuff. But I do know that it just don't look right when it comes to business. And maybe I am incorrect on what I perceive, but going to meetings all these years and everything. But I was planning on going to the meeting today to find out that it was posted that the meeting has been canceled. I've seen it on Commissioner Jenny Hennett's page. I went to Delane Bryant page, who's supposed to be the town manager, and I believe the mayor, and I believe the manager, clerk, or whatever you want to call them. It's two positions. I forget what the other one is, but I know she's the mayor. But I didn't see it on her page, so I'm glad Jenny posted, because I went to a meeting a while back and got all the way down there to find out that the meeting had been canceled. Nobody was there. And so I'm glad she posted it this time so I would know. You would think that you would send out something to folk that come and record, which I'm the only one that come and record. So at least you could send it out to me. Or we are friends on Facebook. I could see it on their page. But the right thing to do, and I had said I was going to be coming to the meetings more often now. And so you would ought to want to let me know that they're not going to be a meeting. Because I have said that from here moving on, since my dad died, I transitioned back in September, beginning of this year. I was going to start back going to these council meetings, commissioner meetings, school board meetings, pick and choosing which one that I go to, whichever one is the hottest that I feel I need to report on, so people can see what's going on. I'm just amazed at what's going on in Conetoe. It has been going on for the last, I believe, like I said, about 3 years since they started back trying to get things together, which I know Delane Bryant is trying to get it together, but it just appears to me that my name have even come up even with to the sheriff's office about I was supposed to come down and protest with Brianna before she got on the commissioner's board. Something about a flea market or something. Anyway, I had no clue about all of that. It was on a Saturday when our Eastern Civic Group meets, so I was in Williamston that morning from 11 to 1. But even at that, I would not been in Conetoe. Sure wouldn't. To protest nothing. So I don't know how my name came up and all that stuff, but I do know that I will be attending meetings around the county, reporting to folk, educating them on what's going on. And it just tickles me that Conetoe is a majority black, and when I go to the meetings, it's only a couple of folk there. I mean, people, we got to get involved. You ought to be running the town, black folk. But we sit back. Same thing with Pine Top. More blacks ought to be on the council down there. I just don't get it. But we sit back. We want something for nothing. We want handouts instead of being at the table where decisions are being made. When you ain't at the damn table, you on the table. So I don't understand what it is going to take for black folks to get involved. You are qualified to sit at the table and at the head and make sure everybody benefits. See, because when black folk benefit, all folk benefit. So keeping that in mind. But I do plan to attend their regular monthly meetings. They move them all around. I don't know whether I'll be able to make it to the meeting that it have been moved to now. I don't think it's on the regular monthly meeting night. But if I can, I'm going to try to get there. But again, folks, y'all better get involved in what's going on in these governmental meetings where folk are making decisions on your livelihood, and stop waiting until something happens before you come. You need to be proactive. You need to be at the table and see how they get to where they are. If you had been attending the Rocky Mount City Council meetings, that Conetoe Town Hall meetings, you will know why they are at the state they're in. And then if you don't go to them, look at the videos. But it's nothing like being there in person. So stay tuned. The DCN SMOKE will be, like I say, going back into politics more so than ever. Got some time, and people need to be educated on what's going on around them, and maybe they'll get involved because the time is now. All right, this has been the DCN SMOKE. It brought to you the Rocky Mount City Council meeting up until the public comments. I'm going to come back tomorrow and talk about the rest of the meeting. Thank you for joining in. This has been the DCN SMOKE. Promotes Butch Nancy II, the political agitator, the watchdog of the East. And I've been called other, but I don't respond to that. Y'all have a good evening.